Hey y'all, it's G and welcome to this week's Plan With Me. This is a special Halloween edition for the week of Monday, October 28 to Sunday, November 3. This week I'm going to try something a little bit different. I picked up both of these Halloween sets at Tuesday morning. As you can see, they were $2.99 each, and I thought it would be fun to do this week's decoration with these stamps. So the first thing I wanted to do before stamping right into the planner is to test out these stamps with different inks. Surprisingly, the biggest challenge was not the different inks, but to actually get the stamps onto the acrylic block because they were so fused onto the plastic backing that I thought that I was going to break them. I think it's safe to say these are not the highest quality of stamps. Once I was able to finally get one clear stamp onto the acrylic block, I tested it with different colored inks to try and figure out what ink I liked, what color I liked, and what kind of impression it was going to give on the paper in the planner. After testing the different inks, I decided to go ahead with black VersaFine ink, and I am testing it first on the monthly page just to see how it would work and how it would look. You can see that there's a little bit of ghosting, but I am trying to mitigate that by stamping off onto the scratch paper before stamping with my second impression onto the planner. So now it is time to think about how I'm going to use the stamps on the weekly spread, and I'm in love with the spider web. It's probably why I picked up the stamp set itself. The tricky part is getting it off of the plastic backing. It is taking me forever, but I finally get it off. And now it is finally time to stamp on the weekly spread, but I decide that I want the spider web to be very black first, so I go ahead and put the first impression right on the page. I decided I want that corner to be full of cobwebs, so I just stamp a bunch of impressions to give a layering effect, which hopefully makes it spookier. I add a banner here with the little spiders coming off of it, and there's a little bit of damage from when I peeled it off, as you could see there, but I kind of think it works with the overall effect, so I'm fine with it. I keep the washi simple with a black and white stripe, and I really like the way it looks, so I go ahead and put it on the bottom of the page. And this potion stamp gives me a little bit of a menu vibe, so I put that down as the header for my meal planning. Of course, I want to feature the skeleton in a big way. I think he would be great as part of the weekend banner, so I'm figuring out where exactly to place him. I am really glad I have this long acrylic block to help me, and I want the skeleton to be really dark too, so I go ahead and put the first impression down on the planner. And I hold my breath. I'm still not great at stamping, but I just think he looks awesome right there, so I'm super happy that he worked out. So to add more texture and background, I go ahead and give him a layer of spider webs too that he has to fight his way out of. I had to hunt through all of my sticker stash to find a black and white weekend banner, and I found one in the Watercolor Brights multi-pack package, ironically enough, and I thought it looked great, so I put it right with the skeleton. And I added the switch to the left-hand side, but as you can see, it is not a good clean impression because there's a lot of stickers underneath there and it's not level, but I decided to leave it because even when I restamped it, it didn't work. And for embellishment at the top, I break out this second set and get these bats and these stars and just sort of layer them on the top to add some visual interest. And to finish off those sections, I decided to go ahead and add the word sentiments on here, and I think it just fills in and adds some nice details, so I was really happy with the way that turned out too. And especially in the witch, I think it resolved some of that empty space within her. The right edge looks a little empty to me, so I decided to use this leaf pattern to add some texture and layer. Before I continue with the planning session, I realize I don't know if there's any bleeding or ghosting with the full impression of the skeleton with the VersaFine ink. So I'm going to take a quick peek and look. And there's definitely ghosting, no pun intended, but there isn't bleeding. So we'll just have to deal with that next week and maybe have a big sticker there to cover up the skeleton from that side. And finally, I add my meal plans for the week. I am cutting down to 2 meals per day, which actually has been pretty good. And now we have an Instant Pot, and so a lot of our recipes for meal prep have been using that, and that's cut back on a lot of time too. So I can recommend that in case you're interested. And then I fill in the rest of the week with my events. And once that's done, I go ahead and put in the time blocks with the straight edge. And that is this week's plan with me. I hope that you have a spooky Halloween and that you have some fun with your friends and family. And have a great week. Thank you so much for watching.